I need you to listen to me and pay rapt attention to what I'm about to say. It is okay to be down and discouraged occasionally. Everybody has a right to have a bad day. But if you do that all the time, that is a problem. You're not going to have good relationships if you're always draining the emotional reserves of the people around you. Let me tell you something that your friends may not tell you. Your family members, your friends, and co-workers don't want to hear about your problems all the time. They have enough problems of their own. They're already carrying a heavy load without you dumping your heavy burdens on them too. If you're always talking about what is wrong in your life or how badly people or circumstances are treating you, that's an extremely selfish way to live. Try to get your mind off yourself and quit living with that. What can you do for me? Attitude. Replace it with questions such as, what can I do to help someone else? How can I make your life better? How can I encourage you? Make sure you are investing in people rather than constantly making withdrawals from their emotional reserves. I like to think of my relationships as emotional bank accounts. I have an account with every person with whom I have a relationship with, whether a family member, a business associate, friends, and even some of the people I meet in person. I have an emotional account with everybody. The man at the gas station, where I go to buy things in the market, people I meet on the road, people I meet in the car, everywhere. Now, every time I interact with them, I'm either making a deposit or making a withdrawal from that account. Now, how can you make a deposit? It can be something as simple as taking the time to walk over and shake that man's hand. Shake that woman's hand. Tell that girl you're beautiful. Tell that boy you're strong. How are you doing today? Tell them good morning. Good to see you. And so on and so forth. Just the simple fact that you went out of your way to make them feel important made a deposit into that account. Your act of kindness builds trust and respect. You can make a deposit simply by smiling at somebody, acknowledging them, being friendly, being pleasant to them in ordinary circumstances. Now, when you compliment people, you're making a deposit. Tell that co-worker that was an outstanding presentation. You did a great job. Always, always tell your husband, I appreciate what you do for this family. Thank you for being a good husband. Thank you for being an amazing father. Always do that. I always do that, and trust me, it has been working perfectly well for me. I always compliment my husband, even though I know that what he does is his responsibility, but I need to let him know that there are also people that don't even take responsibility for themselves, but he has taken responsibility to be a good husband and an amazing father. So I always compliment him. You can always tell your wife, you make it so much fun to be around here. When you do such things, you're not merely giving a compliment, you're making a deposit into the account you share with that person. At home, you can make deposit in your emotional bank accounts by giving your wife a hug and a kiss, telling her that you love her. You make deposit into your account with your children by spending time with them, by listening to your daughter when she's playing the piano, by going down to the park and watching your son play with other children, by going to the field and watch your son play football. A subtle yet amazingly effective means of making a deposit is by you overlooking a fault. Maybe a coworker is rude to you and he jumps down your throat about some meaningless matter. Instead of retaliating, just let it go. The next day, when he apologizes, all you need to say is, don't worry, I've already forgiven you. I didn't think twice about it. I knew that wasn't your normal self. Because trust me, sometimes people are not their normal self. Now, when you do such things, you make huge deposit into your accounts with that person. Your stock goes up significantly on his scale. perhaps one day when you are a bit stressed and on edge, and maybe you don't treat him as well as you normally would, you will have plenty in your accounts to recover it. Just think about this. Now, how do you make withdrawals from our relationship accounts? The most common way of making withdrawals is through selfish behavior. When you're overthinking only about what you want and what we need, we will inevitably withdraw resources from our relationship accounts. We make withdrawals when we don't take time for people. You go into the office and you just blow past the receptionist. Come on now. You don't smile or even notice her. Whether your mind was somewhere else or you were simply being rude is irrelevant. You just made a withdrawal from your account with that person. You lowered her opinion of you. Other ways of making withdrawals include those incidents in which we don't forgive. We don't keep our commitments. When we don't express appreciation to someone to whom it is due. Maybe somebody does something nice to you, something nice for you by going out of her way, but you take it for granted. You don't say thank you. You're too busy, or worse yet, maybe you feel that you're too important to say something such as, I appreciate your efforts. Failure to appreciate the kindness of others will always result in a withdrawal from your account with those people. The problem in many of our relationships is that our accounts are overdrawn. When we make a mistake and we need a little mercy, understanding, or the benefit of doubt, that person goes to our relationship account and discovers it is already empty. Wow. I hope you're really understanding what I'm saying. Now we must live constantly on edge. Minor issues become magnified. We have to guard every little word that we say because there is no reservoir of grace from which to draw in that relationship. We've exhausted the resources, and that's when the little things suddenly turn into big things. And you're wondering, what did I even do to this person? Why is this person so mad at me? It is because the account in your relationship is empty. There is nowhere to withdraw from. I hope you're understanding. Now, let me give you an instance. Your teenage son, and seemingly out of the blue, he blows up on you. Who are you to tell me that? He rails. I don't have to listen to you. It is very common with teenagers. They can talk to you anyhow. Sometimes though. Now through such statements, he is revealing that your relationship account with him is depleted. Now if you're a parent, you can agree with me on this. If your child is speaking rudely to you, something is wrong somewhere. Something is definitely wrong somewhere. You haven't built in trust recently. You haven't taken an interest in the person. You haven't let him know that he is an important person to you, even though he's your child. Now, what he's saying is, you're trying to make withdrawal, but there is nothing in the account because you haven't made any recent deposits. Wow. Now, that situation doesn't come about overnight. The teenager doesn't wake up one morning and decide he doesn't have any respect for his parents. It is not possible. So when I watch children disrespect their parents, talk to them anyhow, I'll be like, wow, I never born this Peking. Do you understand? Because my child cannot just wake up one day and disrespect me. It's not possible now. Not be me born am. It's not possible. It's not gonna work that way. That means something is wrong somewhere. Okay? Now, through the years, he's not been getting what he needs. The deposits in the accounts between the teenager and his parents have been drained. If you're going to correct someone, or maybe you're going to offer some constructive criticism, you need to make sure that you've made plenty of deposit into your account with that person. Make sure you've earned that person's respect. In disciplining your children, ask yourself, have I encouraged him? Have I complimented her? Have I been interested in what he's interested in? Or have I simply been making withdrawals? If all your child has heard for the last couple of months is clean your room, do your homework, take out the trash, you're merely making withdrawals. And let's face it, parents must make many withdrawals during their children's teenage years. But you cannot expect to speak effectively into your child's life unless you have first made plenty of deposits. You must invest in that relationship, nurture it, and build trust.